new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
Well, Friday evening in the IPL brings a lovely little rivalry back on this year's schedule as the Super Kings, after going down to the Delhi Capitals in Visakhapatnam, must travel just a short distance to Hyderabad to take on the Sunrisers. SRH versus CSK is where our attention lies on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Varun Aaron and Mitch McClanagan with me. I'm glad I have two fast bowlers because we've seen some terrific batting surfaces, none more so than what we saw at Hyderabad last time SRH played a home game. Record runs against Mumbai Indians, gents. And therefore, the question is with Klaasen in the form that he's in and CSK's resources, Pathirana and potentially Mustafizur Rahman. We're not quite sure at the time of recording whether he's available or not. Firstly, how do you plan now to bowl at what is clearly a good batting surface at Hyderabad? Mitch.
Yeah, we saw that in the last game. I think there was 17 sixes in each innings along those kind of lines. And, I mean, they got 277. That's a phenomenal score. Generally, if you're batting first there, you're scoring an average of 197 or 187. So it's a pretty high scoring ground and it sets up well for Klaasen. He's a high quality finisher and I think he's probably coming up against two of the best death bowlers if Mustafizur is there. We saw Pathirana the other night. His ability to execute that Yorker at pace, and as Varun said quite rightly, he has this ability, even if there's no reverse, to get the ball to dip, and it draws you into thinking that you've got a low full toss and can quite often sneak under the bat, and that's a real challenge. If Heinrich Klaasen's not practicing against that regularly, that'll be something new for him. So I know we always say about going to Heinrich Klaasen, you want to shut him down, you want to take him wider, but I think Pathirana is going to stick to his strengths, and it's going to be a real awesome battle to watch.
I mean, it's amazing what Pathirana has achieved in a short span of time in the IPL. If we look at the last 5 overs in the IPL since 2022, the minimum of 20 overs, he's among the best economy rates. You got guys like Bumrah and Rashid Khan there, who are T20 greats, or the best of their generation. Pathirana, and from what you saw in the last game, is he now sort of finding his feet, or even an even bigger threat when he executed those Yorkers which you enjoyed watching?
I think when he burst on the scene, he was still very young, very raw, still finding his, I would say, his mojo in CSK. I feel now he's played a bit of international cricket. He's got the exposure, and now he's like a very refined version of what he started with. He has more belief in his ability. He knows exactly what he can do, and I don't see him getting flustered nowadays, because in the first IPL when he played, there were times when MS had to go run up to him and have a chat with him and stuff like that. All that stopped. That also could be because MS is not captain anymore. But in general, I feel he's really well rounded. Sticks to his plans, and it's going to be an interesting. I'm not going to say that Klaasen is not going to come out good or Pathirana is going to come out tops.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting because if Mustafizur plays, he's got that spinning slow ball which he can bowl wide outside off, which is going to be tough for Klaasen. We all know if you don't execute, it's going to go for 6. Same with Pathirana. Doesn't give anybody any room. He has that ability to tail the ball back in. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. If they don't have Mustafizur Rahman, they don't really have an overseas seamer on the bench. So does Theekshana play, or do you go with an Indian seamer? And they have multiple options there. Quick one, Mitch.
Oh, I think they showed that Theekshana is their next best option. They looked at him in the first game before Pathirana was there. He's a high quality spinner, and he's a guy who can take wickets in the middle as well. Okay. Obviously, with the added bonus of being able to bowl on the power play, and he, in my mind, I feel like he's quite a good matchup to Travis Head. Yep. Travis Head has been playing well against pace on at the start, and we've seen him struggle against spin. Noor Ahmed got him the other day as well. So high quality spin is a bit of a challenge for Travis Head.
Dangerous to play an extra spinner if the surface is flat, and that's what we saw at CSK's home game. So if they decide, no, we don't want Theekshana, we want a seamer for a seamer, who's the Indian seamer?
Shardul Thakur, the Lord.
Finally.
Yeah, for sure. He must be waiting. And we all know that CSK doesn't play the player, they play the conditions. So irrespective if Theekshana will be the best bet if it was any other team, but CSK will just make sure they assess the conditions and play whoever the conditions need.
I've got another very quick and a simple question for you. I hope it's a simple one. As we look at the last 2 years, and we saw how good Mustafizur Rahman and more than that Matisha Pathirana have been with bat. Ravindra Jadeja, if we just look at that strike rate of 133, 134, it can be misleading because sometimes guys who bat at 7 strike higher, like the Russells and Klaasens of the world. But here is the man who won them the IPL of the last 2 balls last year. triggered a debate though after what we saw in the game at Visakhapatnam. Should Dhoni be batting ahead of him? And now that they've seen what kind of touch Dhoni's in, is this the game where we might see the change? Should it be called on?
Well, yeah, it's a good point you bring up about Jadeja. He did struggle the other night, and what we did get to see was Dhoni in his element again. He had 37 off 16, which is Dhoni back at his best. In this particular game against Sunrisers, I would absolutely put Dhoni ahead of Jadeja. And it comes down to matchups. Undikat and Bhuvi both go at, Undikat goes at 244 strike rate against Dhoni. He's only got him out once.
Yes.
And Bhuvanesh Kumar hasn't got him out. And he strikes at 166 against him. So those are significant numbers and significant matchups. So on this occasion, I'll put Dhoni up first.
Yes or no? Dhoni over Jadeja?
Any day. But knowing MS and how CSK operates, I think everybody knows, and even Dhoni knows, when push comes to shove, he will get the goods delivered. So he's not really worried about batting positions as of now. I'm very sure he's going to make sure Jadeja gets settled and well oiled before the business end. And I know Dhoni is going to come after Jadeja, but the best would be for Dhoni to come above Jadeja.
Okay, fair enough. That Unadkat Dhoni matchup is so well known in the IPL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to another edition of it. Quick word on Hyderabad's team though. They decided to introduce Washington Sundar for the first time with little or no impact as the impact player. Umran Malik was the impact player in that high scoring game against Mumbai, bowled just 1 over. Are they still figuring out who their best substitute player is or impact player is over here? The 11 seems unlikely that will change.
See, with Washington and Umran, I feel they should do what they do best, which they are not doing. Like Washington, he was bowling to a left-hand batsman, but he wasn't turning the ball out. He was bowling arm balls to a left-hand batsman. The whole reason you bring on an off spinner to a lefty is so that he turns the ball out.
Yeah.
So he can do that. He's a really good bowler. But sometimes the occasion overalls you just get stuck into a plan you don't want to get stuck into. And even Umran, I think he wasn't at his fluent best. And to be honest, to give a fast bowler just 1 over and then drop him is not the way you want to go when we're talking about building a team for the whole tournament.
I think there's a higher chance of Umran playing this game purely because Shivam Dubé's in the middle there. You've got Rachin Ravindra and you've also got Jadeja, who all strike really well against left-arm spins. So that'll be a significant factor in who they come in with the impact player for.
Okay, we also wait to see if T. Natarajan is fit and whether he reclaims his place ahead of Jaydev Unadkat. Quick one on favourites. It's a Hyderabad game. CSK have already dropped points against Delhi, which now seems like a bit of a shock result. But CSK or SRH?
I'm going to actually go for the upset. I think SRH will get up.
Okay, home team to win it. Varun?
I agree with Mitch.
Wow, all right. So the panel believes that the home team go into this as favourites. So Sunrisers Hyderabad against CSK should be a good one, and we build up to that on match day on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.